Have you ever bought an index fund and thought, great, I am diversified, I own the market, I do not have to pick winners? That sounds safe. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Owning the market does not mean your money is spread evenly across the market. In many major index funds, there is a quiet rule deciding where your money goes. It does not ask which company is cheap. It does not ask which company has the best earnings quality. It does not ask which stock is already overhyped. It asks one basic question: which company is the biggest? And then it gives that company the biggest voice in your portfolio. That rule is called market cap weighting. Welcome to Grow with Tony. Simple money lessons for education only, not financial advice. Market cap weighting sounds boring, almost harmless. But this boring rule shapes many index funds, ETFs, retirement accounts, and long-term portfolios. And the strange part is this: many investors think they are choosing a strategy, but they never stop to ask what rule that strategy is following. So let us make it simple. Imagine the entire stock market has only 3 companies. Company A is worth $700 billion. Company B is worth $200 billion. Company C is worth $100 billion. Together, the market is worth $1 trillion. If you put $100 into a market cap-weighted index fund, your money does not get split equally. It does not put about $33 into each company. It puts about $70 into Company A, $20 into Company B, and $10 into Company C. Why? Not because Company A is guaranteed to be the best investment, not because it is the cheapest, not because it has the highest future return, simply because it is the largest. That is market cap weighting. The bigger the company's market value, the bigger its weight in the portfolio. And this is where many investors get fooled by the word diversification. A fund may hold 500 companies, but that does not mean those 500 companies matter equally. The top positions can have far more influence than the small positions at the bottom. So when someone says, I own the whole market, the real question is, how much of the market actually matters in my portfolio? Because a portfolio can be diversified by number of holdings, but concentrated by weight. That difference matters. Now, market cap weighting is not stupid. In fact, it is brilliant in a very specific way. It says, I am not going to pretend I can predict the future. I will let the market decide. If a company becomes more valuable, it becomes more important in the index. If it becomes less valuable, it becomes less important. That is elegant. It removes a lot of human ego. It avoids constant opinion changes. It can keep trading lower than strategies that must rebalance back to fixed weights again and again. And most importantly, it lets winners run. Many investors get nervous when something they own goes up a lot. A stock rises 30%, and they think, maybe I should take profits. It doubles, and they think, this must be too expensive now. It goes up several times, and they convince themselves the easy money is gone. But a market cap-weighted index does not think like that. It does not panic because a winner has become big. It does not trim a company simply because it has performed well. It allows that winner to become a larger part of the index. That is the beautiful side of the rule. It does not need to know in advance which company will become the giant. It just needs to avoid kicking the giant out once it appears. But here is the catch. The same mechanism that makes market cap weighting powerful can also make it dangerous if you misunderstand it. Because market cap weighting does not know why a company became big. It cannot tell the difference between a company that is expensive because it is truly exceptional and a company that is expensive because investors have become too excited. It cannot tell the difference between durable dominance and temporary hype. It only sees size. If the market pushes a stock higher, that company's market value rises. When its market value rises, its weight in a market cap-weighted index can rise. So the rule automatically gives more influence to stocks that have already become larger. Sometimes that is exactly right. Great companies often become large for good reasons. But sometimes it means the index becomes more exposed to the most loved, most crowded, or most expensive part of the market. And the index will not warn you. It will not say, careful, this company is priced for perfection. It will not say, your portfolio is becoming top-heavy. It will not say, most of your recent return came from a narrow group. It will just follow the rule. Bigger company, bigger weight. That is why market cap weighting can feel safest at the exact moment concentration risk is rising. During a strong bull market, this system can look genius. The biggest stocks keep leading, the index performs well. More people feel comfortable buying the index. And because they are buying the market, they do not feel like they are making a concentrated bet. That is the psychological trap. Buying one hot stock feels risky. Buying an index fund feels disciplined. But if the index itself becomes dominated by a small group of hot stocks, the risk has not disappeared. It has been packaged in a more respectable wrapper. This is the part many investors miss. Passive does not mean neutral. Passive means the rules are set in advance. And in a market cap-weighted index, the rule is simple. The companies with the largest market values get the loudest voice. Think of it like a democracy where voting power is based on market value. It is not one company, one vote. It is $1 of market value, one vote. The largest companies speak the loudest. Smaller companies barely whisper. A company can be promising, innovative, and undervalued, but if its market cap is small, it will barely move your portfolio. Meanwhile, mega-cap companies can shape the entire index. This does not make market cap weighting bad. It means you need to understand what you actually own. Because the market is not a perfectly balanced basket. It has structure. It has hierarchy. It has winners, losers, and power concentrations. Market cap weighting accepts that hierarchy completely. It says, the market has already ranked these companies. I will follow that ranking. When you buy a market cap-weighted index, you are not only buying economic growth, you are also accepting that the market's current pricing is a reasonable way to allocate your money. Most of the time, that is practical. The market is hard to beat. Prices contain a lot of information. Big companies are often big for good reasons, but not always. Markets can become euphoric, overpay for dreams, and crowd into the same story until that story becomes fragile. And when that happens, market cap weighting does not protect you from the crowd. It makes you part of the crowd. That is not automatically wrong. Sometimes being with the crowd is better than trying to be a lonely genius. But you should know which game you are playing. The danger is not market cap weighting itself. The danger is believing it has no opinion. It does have an opinion. Its opinion is, size deserves weight. That one sentence explains almost everything. The strength is obvious. If a company becomes one of the great winners of capitalism, market cap weighting can let it grow into a meaningful part of your portfolio. But the weakness is just as obvious. If a company becomes huge because expectations are too high, market cap weighting still gives it more space. It does not care whether the size is justified, it only cares that the size exists. That is the trade-off. And every investment strategy has a trade-off. Equal weight indexing gives each company the same starting weight, which can reduce mega-cap concentration. But it also forces more rebalancing, may trim winners earlier, and gives more weight to smaller companies inside that index. Active management and factor investing have trade-offs too. They may avoid some problems, but they add other risks: fees, judgment errors, long underperformance, or a rule that looks wrong for years. There is no perfect system. There is only a system you understand well enough to stick with. And this is where many investors fail. They do not fail because they picked the wrong fund by a tiny amount. They fail because they buy a strategy without understanding its behavior. Then, when it goes through a bad period, they panic, switch, chase something else, and repeat the cycle. Market cap weighting is no different. If you own it because you think it is always safe, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. But if you own it because you understand the deal, you are much more likely to survive the difficult periods. And the deal is this: you get low cost, broad exposure, automatic participation in the biggest market winners, and no need to constantly pick stocks. But you also accept concentration risk. You accept that the index may become heavily tilted toward the largest companies, including companies that may already be expensive. That is the real contract. Now, use a simple image. Imagine you walk into a city and decide to invest based on building height. The tallest building gets the most money. The second tallest gets less. Small buildings get almost nothing. This system can make sense. Tall buildings may represent valuable land, strong demand, powerful businesses, and economic activity. But if everyone becomes obsessed with one district, prices in that district can rise too much. Your height-based system will keep allocating more money there, not because the future return is guaranteed to be better, but because the price has already gone up. That is market cap weighting. It invests more in the tallest buildings. Often, those buildings are tall for good reasons. But sometimes, the market overpays for the view. And if too much of your portfolio ends up in the same district, you are less diversified than you think. This is why investors should not only ask how many stocks are in this fund. They should ask, what are the top holdings? How much weight sits near the top? Which sectors dominate? Did recent performance come from broad strength or from a narrow group of giants? What happens if those giants stop leading? These questions are not exciting, but they are important. Investing is not just about what you own. It is about how much of it you own. A tiny position can be irrelevant. A large position can define your experience. Market cap weighting quietly decides those position sizes for you. And because it happens automatically, it feels natural, almost invisible. That is what makes it powerful. Nobody wakes up and says, today I want to increase my exposure to the largest companies in the index. They just buy the index. But inside the index, that is exactly what the rule can do. Again, this does not mean index investing is bad. For many people, low-cost index investing is still one of the most sensible strategies ever created. The problem is not the tool. The problem is using the tool without knowing what it does. Market cap weighting is a clean, simple, powerful rule, but the blade is concentration. When the largest companies are strong, profitable, and reasonably priced, concentration can help you. When they are priced for perfection, concentration can hurt you. And you usually will not know which one it was until later. That is why humility matters. Market cap weighting is built on humility in one sense. It admits you probably cannot pick every winner yourself. But investors need another kind of humility too, the humility to admit that the index is not magic. It is not a guarantee, not perfectly balanced, and not neutral. It is a rules-based portfolio with a clear bias towards size. That bias has helped many investors build wealth, and it has also exposed investors to bubbles, sector concentration, and periods where the biggest names stop performing. This is where mature investing begins. When you stop asking, is this good or bad? And start asking, what is the trade-off? Market cap weighting's trade-off is simple. It lets winners become huge in your portfolio. That is a feature. It can also let overvalued winners become huge in your portfolio. That is the cost. You do not get one without the other. Once you understand that, you stop treating index funds like a black box. You start looking under the hood. You start realizing that an index is not just a list of companies. It is a set of rules, and those rules determine where your money goes. So if you are using a market cap-weighted index, be honest about what you are relying on. You are relying on the market's ability to allocate capital reasonably well over time. You are relying on diversification across enough companies and sectors to offset mistakes. And you are relying on your own ability to not panic when the rule goes through a bad stretch. That last part matters most. A strategy you abandon at the wrong time is not really your strategy. It is just something you rented during the good years. So what should an investor do with this? The answer is not to panic and sell every index fund. That would be the wrong lesson. The better lesson is to understand the rule before you trust it. Look at the top holdings. Look at concentration. Look at sector exposure. Look at whether recent performance came from broad strength or from a narrow group of giants. Then decide whether that exposure fits your goals, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon. Because the biggest danger is not owning market cap-weighted funds. The biggest danger is owning them while thinking they are something else. If you think you own a perfectly balanced market portfolio, but you actually own a portfolio dominated by mega-cap winners, your expectations will be wrong. And wrong expectations create bad decisions. But if you know the truth, you can use the tool intelligently. You can say, I understand that this fund gives more weight to the biggest companies. I understand that this can help me capture long-term winners. I also understand that it can create concentration risk. I accept that trade-off. That is investing like an adult, not chasing perfection. not worshiping a strategy, not pretending risk disappeared because the fund has the word index in it, just understanding the rule and choosing consciously. Because in the end, market cap weighting is not evil, magic, or a conspiracy. It is a rule. A very simple rule: the bigger the company, the more influence it gets. That rule has helped many investors build wealth, but it has also made many people think they are more evenly diversified than they really are. So the next time you buy an index fund, do not just ask, "What is the expense ratio?" Ask, "Who is actually choosing my winners?" Because if the fund is market cap weighted, the answer is clear. The market is choosing. The biggest companies are getting the loudest voice. And your portfolio is listening. So the real question is not, do I own the market? The real question is, do I understand the rule that decides what the market means? If you want Tony to explain another hidden index rule, leave it in the comments. And if this helped you see index funds more clearly, subscribe for more simple money lessons. Keep learning, keep growing your wealth, and I will see you in the next one.